In a recent video, we showed you how to begin building your strategic plan by setting up the strategic foundation. There are links in the description to that video if you'd like to see how to do that. Today, we're going to show you how to add a vision indicator, which is like a 1-year goal or measure for success towards your overall vision. So remember, to get back to the strategic plan page, simply click Strategic Plan from your dashboard. You can see here the previously entered strategic foundation information. And now we're going to build out our first vision indicator. Simply Create First Indicator. So you can see we have our 4 steps in our discipleship pathway. In this particular video, we're going to show you how to set up one vision indicator. However, you can set up a vision indicator for every step inside your discipleship pathway. Let's click Create Indicator. Okay. Here we can input what we want to call this. So for this particular step, we're going to create a goal called growth track completions. So maybe in our church, we have a process called growth track, or maybe you have a membership class, or maybe you have something like that, and you want to see people move from that big room, your worship service, and you want them to begin to commit and say, I want to join the church. So you want them to see how many people are going to go through growth track in a time period. So how many people right now, on average, are going through growth track on our measurement frequency? So let's say we don't offer growth track monthly. Let's say we only offer it quarterly. So we'll select the quarterly frequency. Let's say right now, on average, our best guess, looking at historical data, we have about 5 people who complete growth track per quarter right now. And let's say we would like to see that increase to, 15 people complete growth track per quarter. Now, when are we starting this? Let's say we want the start date to begin at the beginning of the year, and we just want to track it through the course of the next year. So we could set it maybe to the beginning of 2027 or to the end of 2026. We'll set it for the end of the year. And that is associated with our gather step, our first step. So we can add some additional details here just so we know. Tracking how many people complete the growth track class per quarter. Wonderful. Now we click Save Indicator. And now here we have our first measure to begin tracking from throughout the year. Now we have set a quarterly measurement frequency. So when we go to log an update, we actually can't log an update right now because we said that we are going to begin this in January and we're going to track it through the course of next year. So I can't log an update for a thing that hasn't happened yet. But just so you can see how the logging works, let's go back and edit this vision indicator. Let's just say we're going to go back a little bit in time to the beginning of September. And click Save Indicator. Now when we go to log an update, we can select an available period. We can select the third quarter of 2025, and we can also select the fourth quarter of 2025 because I've backdated the start date. So let's say for the third quarter of 2025, we said that our baseline was 5, and maybe that's the one that we used. So let's just go ahead and log 5 for that particular quarter, hit Save Update. And you can see that that period value is 5 and the baseline is 5. And so it's kind of, you can see that green and yellow kind of trying to conflict with each other a little bit there. All right, now let's say we have the only available period left now is the fourth quarter because we already entered something for the third quarter. Let's say on this one we did a little bit better. Let's say in the fourth quarter of 2025, we actually had, 8 people go through growth track And if we wanted to add some additional comments, we could as well. Maybe we will. Glad to see some growth. Hit save. Okay, so now we can begin to see that we have increased from our baseline. We were at 5, now we're at 8, and we're continuing to see some progress. And as you go throughout the time period, and every time you add a log, it's just going to begin to chart that over time so you can see, are we making progress towards our goal? Are we slowing down? And we can begin to have conversations as a team about what's working and what's not working in terms of getting people connected into Growth Track. And what do we need to repeat, and maybe what do we need to try new or do differently? So this is how you can set up a vision indicator inside the Healthy Churches Toolkit. Of course, you can change this to weekly, something that you want to measure weekly, something that you want to measure monthly, or something that you want to measure quarterly. A vision indicator, though, is something that you want to measure over time, more than once a year, so that you can see whether or not you're making progress over a period of time, of course, more frequently than just annually. That might be something more like a project, something that we want to complete over the course of 1 year. We'll look at that next in another video on how to use the Healthy Churches Toolkit.